Howdy, howdy. Good morning. I received a message yesterday, no, Saturday, 2 days ago, from one of the Gurukul parents. Apparently, there's in mainstream ISKCON, I suppose one would say, there's a question is going around about forcing children to chant japa because we have in Gurukula the Christmas holidays are coming up. So during the Christmas holidays, the students are not required. There's no homework. There's no Gurukul study, no Gurukul classes. We want the students to completely decompress from their Gurukul studies. But there are sadhana, right? They do their sadhana during the school year, also during vacation, right? Vaishnavas, our sadhana is our entire life. So even during the vacation, the Gurukul students are to maintain the sadhana, and they check in. They send their sadhana um, reports, if you will, back to me in the Gurukula, even during the Christmas vacations. So part of their sadhana is chanting japa. So one parent messaged me, well, what about, they had this question about forcing children to chant japa and during the holidays are coming up. And so brought to my attention. Anyways, I'm going to share my view, my experience, and my opinion. It's simply my opinion. And you can take it from Gurukula, as many of you know, for most of my life. And when my mother sent me to Gurukula at the age of 7, no less, she sent me off and she instructed me very clearly on a number of things I remember. Um, but one of the most vivid ones I remember, I forgot most of it, obviously. But one thing she really impressed upon me is that if I have a problem, go to Krishna. I mean, among other people, there was people, my first Gurukul I went to, there were some friends. Anyways, persons I could talk to. But she says, if all else fails, go to Krishna. She instilled very early on this idea that if I went to Krishna, I could get some help, some relief. And she mentioned a way of doing that was just to talk to Krishna. New York Gurukula, a winter, and I had lost my gloves. And we were out playing, having a snowball fight, and I had lost my gloves, so I was playing in the snowball fight without gloves. Um, and of course, my hands within moments froze. And it was so painful. I was crying, and I went inside and I was crying over my hands, and remembered to ask Krishna for help, for relief. So Krishna, my hands, Krishna, my hands, Krishna, my hands, Krishna, my hands, and my hands felt better. Of course, I was inside, I was warming my hands and like that. So I won't say Krishna warmed my hands, but I connected the two. My hands were frozen. I went to Krishna. My hands felt much, much better. So that relief that I felt at that time. At some point in Gurukula, I had a unfortunate connection was made between japa and my personal well-being. So then I grew into my teenage years with this issue with japa. Later on in my teenage years, I was very, very lucky where Krishna gave me an ashram teacher and actually an English teacher who helped me get past my issue with japa. And that's a whole other story. But my appreciation for japa and my relationship with japa was reignited, reestablished, if you will, because of those two particular teachers. But when we talk about, so the idea of forcing children to chant japa, I've experienced both, where in Gurukula, I was forced to chant japa. Oftentimes, luckily, for a period, I had a good relationship with japa, so that wasn't a problem. Those few years where I didn't have a good relationship, disturbed, complicated, being forced to chant japa was a problem. It was only a few years, but it was a problem until I was able to be guided past that. So in forcing children to chant japa, I'm going to say this based on my personal experiences and the importance of japa. I'm going to say this. No, do not force your child to chant japa. However, the problem I feel is in the semantics, the word forcing. So I put the question to you thus: do you force, using the word force, do you force your child to go to school? Whatever word you use to describe how you encourage between your child and Japa. So it's not so much that you force your child to go to school, right? Going to school, going to class, finishing their geography homework is a prerequisite. It's part of their duty, their obligation as a child. Now, how you make that happen is another issue entirely. You wouldn't use the word force, would you? Same way we must consider Japa. As Vaishnav families raising Vaishnav children, how we develop a child's relationship with Japa is the same way we develop a child's relationship with their homework, with going to school. So, with going to school, right, if the child is sick, we don't force them to go to school. If they're having a bad day, even if they may not even be sick, they could very well just be having a very bad day. We'll call in and inform. That's okay. We know this as parents, we know this. We have to have the same maturity when helping our children develop a relationship with Japa. It's okay when children, when the Gurukul students come to me, and every morning, every Monday morning, the Gurukul students tell me about their sadhana. They do their their sadhana report for the previous week. And and sometimes these kids have terrible weeks of sadhana. It's okay. I don't jump down there through. It's okay. Well, we can get better here, better there. How's your schedule? Was there something go wrong? We just talk about it. The next week they do better. And the week after that, they have a bad week. It happens. We work through it. So in the same way that we do not force our children to go to school, we do not force our children to do their homework. That's not the word we use. That's not the way we develop a relationship with children and their studies. Priority. Their homework, getting their homework completed well, is a priority. In the same way, Japa in our children's lives should be a priority. And how you make that priority, how you establish that relationship, has to be done very, very maturely as we do in developing their relationship with studies. So then the question needs to be asked: what is a relationship with the family and Japa? If Japa is a priority within the family, then the family sits and has a time is off in the home, and everyone sits to chant Japa, just like everyone sits to do their homework. Right? When you do homework with your children, all electronic equipment is off unless they have some, they need it for their homework. But in terms of TV and things like that, all of that's off, and all the kids sit down, they do their homework. When it's time for dinner, phones are put away, electronic equipment is off. Everyone comes, even if they don't eat, they sit at the table with the rest of the family. That family time is prioritized. So when the priority is Japa in the home, then we don't use the word forcing children to chant Japa. It's a priority in the home, and we develop ways to communicate that priority, to share our relationship with Japa, so that the children also develop a healthy relationship with Japa. So it's the semantics that is the problem. Should I force my child to do homework? Either? But homework is a priority. You don't force your child to eat, but a nutritious diet is a priority. So this is how we have to see Japa in the lives of our children, how we help our children develop a relationship, a healthy relationship with Japa. All right, so speaking of Japa, I spent too much time going on about, this was important actually, but I think it'll help some of the parents, at least this is my opinion on children and Japa and so on. But now, as adults, we're going to discipline ourselves and chant our japa this morning. So let's settle in and have at it. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Veda Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Okay, thank you for joining me for our daily 7:30 a.m. Japa. I will see you tomorrow once again at 7:30 a.m. for the next round of Japa. Hare Krishna.